Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the box model. And let me make sure, yep, I'm on the PowerPoint here. So what is the box model? The box model describes the imaginary boxes that are formed around elements in a web page. So an easy way to think of it is anything you put on your web page has an imaginary box. Okay? And that box has four parts. It has the content area, and I think the next slide is a better one to show you this. It has a content area surrounded by padding. So whatever you have here, it could be a picture, could be a paragraph, could be a heading, whatever it is, whatever content we're talking about on your page is surrounded by some padding. And then there's a border, which many times is turned off so we don't see it. And then outside of the border, there's some more margin. There's some margin. So padding and margin are both white space, meaning it's blank spots between go back. Blank spots between the content and the border would be padding. The blank spots that happen between the border and whatever objects are around your content, that's the margin. So we can adjust that white space by changing the margin or by changing the padding. We can also turn on or off the border, and we can set some thicknesses and styles for those. So we're going to look at those today. So the most commonly used properties are padding, border, and margin. There's also a length and width property that we can use. So what is padding? Padding is the internal white space that surrounds the element. The padding properties control this white space. By default, an element doesn't have padding. But all major web browsers add some padding by default. So one of the problems we have oftentimes is that if each web browser made by the different companies puts in a different amount of padding, we're never sure quite exactly how our web page is going to look. Now later on in the course, we're going to learn how to reset every single thing back to 0. That way we can specify all of our elements and their paddings and borders and try and get a more consistent look from different web browsers. But for right now, just understand that web browsers will show things slightly differently depending on which browser you're using. So how do we set these? We use padding width, and that sets the padding all the way around the box. But we can also do padding top or padding right or padding bottom or padding left. The shorthand property can be used. We can do padding, and we can just specify top, right, bottom, and left. And I'm going to show you examples in those in the next video. Padding and margin properties can be set with EM values or pixels. We can also set them in millimeters, centimeters, and inches. And percentages, you don't see that too often. Usually it's EM values or pixels. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to come back in the next video and show some examples of padding.